on the news. The countdown is on to light the Diocese of Brooklyn's Christmas tree in Grand Army Plaza. We have a preview. Also tonight, an immigration crisis as Title 42 is about to come to an end. Everyone from the federal government to border towns are getting ready for what they call a potential disaster. It's a Scout's honor to veterans. We'll talk to this teen about his big project that he hopes will earn him the highest rank in the Boy Scouts.
My family has a very rich history in veterans dating back to before the Second World War. And I have an awe and genuine respect for all veterans.
And hitting all the right notes, tenor Christopher Macchio headlines the Spirit of Christmas concert at the Emmaus Center. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. The final preparations are underway. The big Christmas tree is ready, and soon everyone gathered at Grand Army Plaza will be saying, "Let there be light." Thousands of lights, to be exact. Bishop Robert Brennan will light the Norway spruce, and the twinkling display next to the Nativity will have a special significance this year. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has a preview.
The Diocese of Brooklyn Christmas tree will finally get to shine tonight. The tree lighting will be held here at Grand Army Plaza. The theme of the tree lighting is unity. The 16,000 lights that will be switched on tonight represent the diversity of cultures in the Diocese of Immigrants. The tree was brought here last week from a farm in Pennsylvania and will stand tall at 28 feet here under the Sailors and Soldiers Memorial Arch. Every year, the tree lighting marks a point in the Christmas season and in Advent that allows Catholics in the diocese to refocus and remember the birth of Christ as the center of the holiday. This year, in keeping with the theme, there will be a prayer of unity that will be said in English, Spanish, and Polish. And Bishop Brennan will also bless the nativity scene under the tree. The tree's multicolored lights are about to be switched on, and I'll have a full report for you on the tree lighting tomorrow. In Prospect Park, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
And I have the honor of hosting the ceremony. Tune into Thursday night's Currents News for complete coverage. That's Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m. to see the tree lighting. A retired New York City cop is now one of Santa's helpers. He's making sure kids in the Diocese of Brooklyn have a Merry Christmas by throwing a huge party. All of the guests at this gathering at St. Gregory the Great in Belrose brought gifts to get in. They're friends of Don Costello, a former police officer who's been collecting toys for Catholic charities Brooklyn and Queens to give to children for 40 years. It all started in 1982 when the young cop responded to a burglary just days before Christmas when the toys a Brooklyn dad bought for his kids were all stolen. If you need help putting presents under the tree this Christmas, jot this down. You can get one of Don's. CCBQ is hosting its annual Santa's Toy Shop on Thursday, December 22nd and Friday, December 23rd. It'll be held in the gym at Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Astoria. Parents just need to bring their ID and their children's birth certificates. Children are not allowed at this event. For more information, just go to ccbq.org. The sights and sounds of the season are all around us. Tuesday night was all about the sounds as the Emmaus Center held its annual Spirit of Christmas concert. The sounds of Christmas filled the air at the Emmaus Center in Brooklyn Tuesday night. The annual Spirit of Christmas concert raises money for Futures in Education, which helps send students to Catholic schools in the Diocese of Brooklyn. Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello, Vicar for Development in the diocese, was on Currents News before the concert to tell us where exactly the money goes.
Children that live under the poverty level, families, $30,000 or less a year. They desire to go to a Catholic school but are unable because of finances. Right. So we give them that opportunity, that choice to come to one of our schools. And the money that we raise goes directly to their tuition.
And audience members definitely got their money's worth. Famed tenor Christopher Macchio wowed them with his booming voice. And even though he's performed all over the world, he says taking the stage here at the Emmaus Center is really special.
Obviously, it's an opera house. So right off the bat, I'm trained to perform in spaces like this. And these spaces are now far and few in between. And the fact that the diocese has chosen to support an institution like this speaks really highly of their vision for using the arts to bring people to Christ.
Aside from Macchio, this always anticipated holiday event featured other legendary performers, including original Beach Boys member Al Jardine, award-winning singer-songwriter Peebo Bryson, and American Idol finalist Haley Reinhart. What an amazing show. And there are more events at the Emmaus Center coming up. For more information and to buy tickets, just check out their website at emmausbrooklyn.org. Interest rates are going up again for the 7th time this year. The Federal Reserve raised the benchmark rate by half a point. It now stands at 4.5%. That's the highest level in 15 years. The increases are an attempt to slow down the record rate of inflation. A new economic report shows that inflation is easing, but the higher interest rates may still spark a recession. Also tonight, the U.S. is just days away from the expiration of Title 42, a policy that allowed the government to turn away migrants at the border due to the pandemic. Officials are already seeing a major surge at the border, and many are warning that another humanitarian crisis is about to unfold, stressing an overwhelmed immigration system. Gloria Pazmino has more.
The Biden administration under pressure, facing a December deadline to end the Title 42 public health rule invoked at the onset of the COVID pandemic. It allows officials to turn away migrants at the U.S. southern border.
Where they're going to have more apprehensions, and so we're going to see a lot more releases into the community, and we're not prepared for it.
With the policy set to expire December 21st, border towns are bracing for an increase of migrants in a matter of days. As deadline nears, local shelters try to meet the need.
I'll see how we can get them in-house, because the temperatures this week in El Paso, overnight they're all going to be at freezing or below freezing.
Republicans have been critical of the administration's handling of immigration issues.
He has no plan to deport the more than 1 million people who have active deportation orders in our country.
While some Democrats have raised concerns that asylum seekers are being barred from entering the country, officials from border areas want Biden to visit.
Just showing up at the border would send a strong signal to the communities that he's there.
Just over the weekend, more than 2,400 migrants illegally crossed into the U.S. each day in the El Paso, Texas sector, according to a senior Border Patrol official. In the meantime, thousands of families, women, and children are in limbo. Gloria Pazmino, Currents News.
President Biden has officially signed a bill that recognizes same-sex and interracial marriages on a federal level. Thousands stood on the White House South Lawn Tuesday for the signing of the Respect for Marriage Act. While the bill does not guarantee the right to marry, it does specify that states must recognize same-sex marriages, and those couples have the same federal benefits as any married couple. President Biden says the signing was a good day for the country.
A day America takes a vital step toward equality, toward liberty and justice, not just for some, but for everyone, toward creating a nation where decency, dignity, and love are recognized, honored, and protected.
The push came after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Justice Clarence Thomas listed a case that affirmed the right to same-sex marriage as another landmark case that may be due for a review. U.S. bishops have been opposed to the Respect for Marriage Act, writing in a letter to Congress last month. The amended act will put the ministries of the Catholic Church, people of faith, and other Americans who uphold a traditional meaning of marriage at greater risk of government discrimination. Our opposition to RMA by no means condones any hostility towards anyone who experiences same-sex attraction. Catholic teaching on marriage is inseparable from Catholic teaching on the inherent dignity and worth of every human being. To attack one is to attack the other. Congress must have the courage to defend both. A top Vatican cardinal is suing a woman who accused him of sexual assault over 10 years ago. Cardinal Mark Ouellet filed the countersuit over what he says are false allegations. He was one of dozens of prelates named in a class action lawsuit against the Archdiocese of Quebec. In August, Pope Francis concluded there was not enough evidence for an investigation on Ouellet. The cardinal is seeking $100,000 in damages to his reputation, which he says he will donate to the fight against sexual abuse of Indigenous peoples in Canada. Still ahead, one couple who holds the Tablet's Bright Christmas campaign close to their heart.
We thank God for the blessings we've had, and we know there are people less fortunate than us, and we have the ability to help those people. We want to do it.
Plus, he's going for a walk from Jersey to Cali. What's motivating him to keep going? And Christmas trees are lighting up all around the world. We'll check out the Vatican's tree lighting and tell you why the Pope issued a warning. Becoming an Eagle Scout is not an easy feat, but one teen in the Diocese of Brooklyn is on his way. And to achieve this honor, he decided to honor those who have fought for our country. 17-year-old James Silverio joins us now to tell us all about his Eagle Scout project and how you can help. Hi, James.
Hi.
So nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
So not everyone knows how hard it is to achieve Eagle Scout. So tell us, what you had to do to get up to this point.
So Eagle Scout's the highest rank in Boy Scouts, but before Boy Scouts there's Cub Scouts.
Okay.
And basically what you do, there are different levels you have to progress through. So you start as not a rank, so you don't have a patch.
Okay.
And then you go Scout, Tenderfoot, second class, first class, which are kind of the lower rankings.
Okay.
And then you have Star and Life. Life is what I'm currently at. And then the highest is Eagle Scout.
And that's a lot of work and a lot of time that you have to put in.
A lot of commitment towards it.
A lot of commitment, I'm sure. So for your final project, to become an Eagle Scout, you've decided to host a blood drive at Our Lady of Angels Parish to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, which is so cool that you're doing that. Why did you choose to honor veterans?
So my family has a very rich history in veterans dating back to before the Second World War. And I have an awe and genuine respect for all veterans who served and dedicated their lives towards this country. Mm-hmm. So Operation Give to Those Who Gave is to try and connect that to give blood to those who gave blood and everything on the front lines of battle.
I love that. So tell us about the project itself. What do you need to do to satisfy the Eagle Scout requirement at this blood drive?
So it needs to be a non-Scout organized group. Okay. And you need to show leadership qualities while hosting the project. So I chose a blood drive, as stated earlier. Mm-hmm. And what I had to do is advertise. I had to get permission from a location, which is luckily my Boy Scouts parish, Our Lady of Angels in Bay Ridge. So after that, we had to organize with the New York Blood Center when and where. Okay. And we have a time and date, which is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday, December 18th.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work, but I think after that, I just have to fill out paperwork and then submit it, and then I'll be ready to have my Eagle Board of Review.
And it's not just the blood drive, right?
No.
What else is happening?
So as I stated, veterans, I'm going to be having a veterans panel to speak about their war experiences and what leadership means to them. Because obviously the word leadership is not just a word, there's true meaning behind it. Yep. So I wanted them to explain what they went through in war and how important that word and camaraderie is to them.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful event. James Silverio, thank you so much for being here, and good luck on your Eagle Scout.
Thank you so much.
As James mentioned, if you'd like to join him in commemorating the 81st anniversary of Pearl Harbor, stop by the gymnasium at Our Lady of Angels Parish on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Speaking of vets, one man won't be spending this Christmas season around a fire. Instead, he's going coast to coast for America's heroes. Meet Tommy Pasquale, a New Jersey native who's traveling from sea to shining sea with nothing but a cart of essentials, all to raise money for the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. He's already walked more than 1,000 miles and gone through more than his fair share of shoes. We caught up with Tommy to talk about why he felt so moved to get up and get going.
I've always been passionate about helping, the brave men and women who have served this country in any way I can. I have a lot of veterans in my family, a lot of friends who are veterans or active duty, and then veterans I've met along the way. They really seem to appreciate it, which is really humbling for me. And I really appreciate their support.
Let's see how Tommy's doing so far. In September, he set off from the Jersey Shore. He's walked through rural Pennsylvania and our nation's capital, saw the great lights of Nashville, and passed through Arkansas. And now he's in the Lone Star State, Texas. His goal is to reach Venice Beach, California by April of 2023. If you want to donate to Tommy's cause, just go to GoFundMe.com and search for Tommy Walks Across America. Again, he's raising money for the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. They're not in Brooklyn anymore, but that doesn't mean Joan and Lou Gansilla aren't making Christmas dreams come true. They're longtime donors to the Tablet's Bright Christmas campaign, and in recent years, their contribution has helped them remember good times in the old neighborhood. Jessica Easthope has their story from New Jersey.
Ended up coming out every Christmas.
The first thing you see when you walk into Lou and Joan Gansilla's house are toys.
And then sat next to him in the presider's chair throughout Mass.
They belong to their son Joseph, or as he was known in the Diocese of Brooklyn, Father Joe.
His love for the children. And
they would start asking him
in September. Who's going to come?
Who's coming for Christmas?
And he would never tell.
I'm not telling.
Father Joe used these toys every Christmas as a way to relate to the children at his masses, right up until Christmas of 2019, 10 days before he died.
I could not believe it.
Sometimes we still can't believe it. We just expect them to walk through the door. You know, it's just, you don't expect that. You're not supposed to be burying a child.
And she gave it to us.
Like Father Joe, his parents know how impactful toys can be in a child's life, which is why they've been donating to the Tablet's Bright Christmas campaign for more than 25 years.
When we get the mailing every year, it's, yes, absolutely.
Joan and Lou have since moved away from the Diocese of Brooklyn.
And there's Regina.
And their home parish, the Basilica of Regina Pacis.
We've attended there all our lives.
We saw the church being built.
But for them, it will always be home.
Anytime we go back to visit our son, when we walk into the church, we have that feeling. We're home.
We're home.
Our roots were there, you know.
And they, in a way, they still are.
And giving to Bright Christmas is a chance to make that home a better place for those who really need it. Losing a child changed the Gansillas forever.
Just a few days before he passed away. This is New Year's Eve. He died on January the 6th.
But their faith and connection to the Diocese of Brooklyn has sustained them.
We get the tablet and we see all the letters. Thank you so much for what Bright Christmas gave to us. So that makes us feel good.
And with a new year and a higher goal, the Gansillas are giving a little more. Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
You too can give back like Joan and Lou. The tablet could really use your help, and they can use it right now. The paper is now more than halfway through their goal, passing more than $65,000 for kids in need. But they are still a ways away from their goal of $125,000 before December 25th. The need is great this year because of inflation. Here's the information you need to get involved. Make a check out to the Bright Christmas Fund and mail it to Bright Christmas, LB number 2118, P.O. Box 95,000, that's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the zip code 19195. Or you can make your donation online at thetablet.org/brightchristmas. Can't get enough Christmas decor. If you want to see even more, churches all around the diocese have already decked their halls. There seems to be garland, trees, and lights everywhere you look, but that doesn't come without a cost or without help. More than 36 churches seen twinkling here across Brooklyn and Queens are now ready to kick off the Christmas season, thanks to Maimonides Medical Center in Borough Park. Every year, Maimonides donates money to help spread Christmas cheer, giving parishes the opportunity to purchase Christmas decorations like lights and trees as part of their Celebration of Light. The initiative started back in 1995 and has been burning bright ever since. Still to come on Currents News, we show you the Vatican's Christmas decorations. The Holy See's tree and creche are up, but the Pope has a warning. We'll tell you more coming up. It's hard to keep a candle burning, but one flame just arrived at the Vatican after a long journey from Bethlehem and a tour around the United States. The so-called peace light, symbolic of Christ's light, is perpetually lit in the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. Then it goes on a journey. Boy and Girl Scouts spread the flame around the world with a message of friendship. On December 4th, the flame flew into New York City's JFK Airport. Its first stop in the United States, Our Lady of the Skies Chapel. But that was just the beginning. Dozens of participants then take bits of the flame so its message of peace can spread. Delegates as far as Arizona and Texas came to keep the light of Christ. How long the flame keeps burning will depend on each keeper. Some try to maintain it until the Epiphany. You better watch out. Pope Francis has broken a world record. The Holy Father's watch was auctioned last week. The swatch, which was worn throughout the Pope's pontificate, was sold for a record-breaking $56,250. This is more than 1,000 times its retail price, making it the most expensive swatch to ever exist. The proceeds from the charity auction are all going to a special foundation in honor of a watch-loving teenager who passed away. Well, if Pope Francis wants a new watch for the holidays, he now has a new tree to put it under. The Vatican's Christmas tree and creche were unveiled in St. Peter's Square on December 3rd. But as we enjoy the festivities of the season, the Holy Father says we need to be careful that we don't get caught up in all the holiday glitz. Justin McClellan has more from St. Peter's Square.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here in the Vatican as this nearly 100-foot fir illuminates St. Peter's Square. And right next to it is a hand-carved wooden creche. Pope Francis said this weekend that it embodies the true message of Christmas. It's Christmas time in the Vatican. This nativity scene, composed of 18 life-sized wooden figures, including the Holy Family, farm animals, and artisans, was unveiled before crowds braving heavy rain in St. Peter's Square, alongside an impressive nearly 100-foot white fir, which was lit up on Saturday evening. That morning, the Pope met with the delegations that created the creche and donated the tree to the Vatican. He reminded them to keep the true meaning of Christmas in mind as represented by the nativity scene.
E se vogliamo festeggiare davvero il Natale, riscopriamo attraverso il presepe la sorpresa e lo stupore della piccolezza. La piccolezza di Dio, che si fa piccolo.
Tucked in among its stunning lights, the tree's ornaments were made by children at a psychiatric rehabilitation center, residents in a nursing home, and school children from central Italy. This year's creche comes from the northern Italian town of Udine, near the country's border with Austria, and the tree is from the central Italian region of Abruzzo. Inside the Paul VI Audience Hall is a nativity scene from Guatemala. In the month of December, Pope Francis will sit next to it during his weekly general audience. As Pope Francis prepares for his busy Christmas schedule, everything is in place here in front of St. Peter's Basilica. The only missing piece, the infant Jesus, which will be placed in the manger on Christmas Day. In St. Peter's Square, Justin McClellan, Currents News.
With the third Sunday of Advent celebrated, Pope Francis is on the clock with his busy Christmas schedule, a feeling we can all relate to. Let's take a quick look at it. The Holy Father will be celebrating Mass late on Christmas Eve around 7:30 Rome time, and Net TV will be broadcasting it live. That's around 1:30 in the afternoon here. The next day, Christmas Day, he will give his special blessing, and that too will be live streamed on Net TV. And that is Currents News. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.